I was watching Ryder Carroll, the creator of the bullet journal's latest video, which I will link down below. Every time I watch them, I want to start a bullet journal. There's something about his simplicity that just makes me want to try one. But this is the bullet journal that I decided on, and I will put the video either down below or at the end of this video on how I chose the bullet journal that I have. Here are the specs for this bullet journal. So this is Tomoe river paper, so it's like Bible-y thin, and there's going to be a ton of ghosting, so if you don't like ghosting, this is not the paper for you. But you know, for the most part, you can use pretty much anything on here and get absolutely no bleed through. Certainly Sharpie, not the pens will work just fine, but the markers obviously still have issues with. But it holds watercolor for the most part like a dream. You have so many pages in here. This is a B6 Slim, if I did not mention. I know it doesn't say on the back, but I think it does say that on the website. And part of my issue with the Hobonichi Weeks, which has since been retired, if you've seen one of my, I don't know if that was my last video. I don't know which one went up first. Part of my issue with the Hobonichi was the fact that this paper doesn't really allow for pens to dry very fast, okay? The ink basically kind of sits on top of the paper and it takes a while for it to dry. So gel pens can be a flippin' nightmare. And they do give you, like, let me see if I have one next to me. Something like this. This one I actually purchased, but Hobonichi you can either get for free or you can buy on their website. A Jetstream, a uni Jetstream, like this. And it's just supposed to be, I believe, a hybrid of gel and ballpoint pen. So ballpoint pen will work perfectly fine in here. There's nothing wrong with that. I actually don't have a very fine tipped ballpoint pen. I think the smallest tip that I personally have is like a 0.5. I was trying to look through my collection. This of course is a hybrid and it's a 0.38. Here I have the 0.5, and then I have another one, and I want to say that it's in a 0.28, but when I was looking, I couldn't find it. So I might have imagined that. I'm going to have to go back through my videos and find that out. But yeah, so this will work fine on here. My issue with this pen is sometimes it doesn't make my handwriting look very good. And I didn't say lovely because it's never lovely, but I have really crappy handwriting and I have very large handwriting, and so I kind of struggle with this pen because it doesn't write as neatly as I would prefer. I kind of just go all wild, and that's why I like a pretty narrow tip, because, you know, or a narrow pen, because it just really helps keep my awful handwriting in control. And of course this is a what? I don't remember. Is it a 3.8 or 3.7 millimeter grid? So a 3.7. So it's just tiny, 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 which is probably exactly the same size in the Hobonichi Weeks. But I do have this to fall back on, which I know will work perfectly fine in here, but I do love gel pens. So I went through pens that I already have, because right now I'm not willing to buy anything else at this point because I have so many pens, right? So I was like, what are the pens that I have in my collection that are kind of, you know, the smallest? The Uniball Signo. So obviously I'm like a Uniball girl. I didn't even realize, but I do love my Uniball pens. These are in a 0.28. I chose these even though they are a gel pen because they are so fine tipped, meaning that not as much ink is going to come out as, you know, any of the other pens, that it dries pretty fast. Obviously, like if you have a 0.7, that's going to take a long time to dry because the line is so thick, so full of ink, it's just going to take longer. So I prefer that if I had to use a gel pen that I think writes very nice, this keeps my handwriting a little more in control, which I appreciate. And I got this set off of, I want to say Amazon. I think Jet Pens also sells them, but I accidentally bought the wrong kind the first time I bought them. So, or not the wrong, I don't know why I said the wrong kind, the wrong size rather. And so I actually have them in a 0.38 also. So I'm going to go ahead and, you know, throughout the rest of the day write in both of them and see which one I like the most. Because we have such small grid here, I'm thinking the 0.28 works the best. Now, because I film a lot of what I'm doing in my planners more so than my journals, because, you know, my journals are mostly my private writing. I like to share them on YouTube, and it's really hard to see a 0.28. It's not like it's invisible, but it's a very, very thin line, so it's not as bold. But I'm thinking the 0.28 is going to work best in here. We'll see how it goes. The other thing I wanted to mention is that Tomoe River paper, it's so thin, and because I might be using possibly these Uniball Signo pens, they kind of have like a needle looking tip. I just love this design, by the way. It's very sleek. I'm concerned about pushing too hard, so if you're someone who pushes like really hard, I get concerned that it's really going to push through onto the other pages in here. I normally don't worry about that with anything else. But this is a Jibun Techo. This is the A5 Slim size. They also sell B6 Slim. So I'm thinking about picking up one of these because I don't actually have a B6 Slim sized writing board. And this can just help you to make sure that, you know, you don't have to worry about pushing too hard and it, you know, indenting the page behind it. Or if I can stand it and I'm only at my desk, I can just use this one for now, and that's okay too. I thought I had an extra Hobonichi Weeks one. I am going to leave a bunch of space. I don't even know how many pages this is. I'm not really into a future log, mostly because I have this also. This is my Dollar Spot weekly planner that I bought that I really think is cute, and I can do forward planning in here. If I decided that I just wanted to carry this system around, I could certainly do that. And so I really don't need space for forward planning, but I thought I could leave some space here in front to kind of keep personal for myself, because I will obviously be showing all of this stuff off. But I could put March here and then put how much my starting weight is, and then break it down week to week, how many pounds I want to lose every week, and what I should weigh by the end of the month. So you'd have March, April, May, you know, have one page for each, because these are pretty small that I can certainly do that. I'm going to go ahead and use this planner to put under here because it's so thick that I'm going to be writing kind of downhill. So this will help even it out. And I hope that I'm going to stay in frame for the most part because I have to tilt my book in order to write. The layout is pretty much Hobonichi-esque. You have the space up here where you can go ahead and write in what month you're in. You can just put March straight across, or like in the Hobonichi, they usually have like, they would put like month 3 over here and then they would write out March, something like that. So you went straight across like this. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes where you can put like your top 4 goals for the month there. You have 3 boxes down here where you could put 1, 2, 3 goals for the month here. So there's like a lot of ways to break this down. And I'm just sitting here thinking, man, like I haven't even thought about that. So I don't know how much of that I'm going to do today, but let's get started with Ryder Carroll's last video. So his last video was about a super simple habit tracker. And the way he decided to make it super simple was to just go ahead and add it on to his monthly log. Now I've done that before, and I've seen a ton of other people do that before also in other videos. And I will link either down below or at the end of this video my bullet journal playlist, so you can kind of see how I've either evolved or scaled back. So I'm going to start up here at the top and very simply write the month in. There's that. Okay, I was super scared that I was going to make like 2 8s like a crazy person. So over off to the side, I'm still deciding what I'm going to put there. I do know that I want to skip 1, 2 at least. Yeah, I'm going to say 2 lines. Today is actually March 15th. So I'm not going to go into a big thing where I sit here and I write down, you know, March 1st. You know, I'm not going to backtrack anything. I'm not going to, because that would just drive me crazy. I'm just going to start on the 15th and go from there. Okay, and then, man, you have a lot of space here. So next month, I might think about dividing this in half, possibly, and putting like 1 through 15 over here, and then the rest over here, so I can have space to write down here. But again, that's certainly something I would do if we weren't going to be trying to recreate Ryder Carroll's last video. So, moving on. Let it go, Sylvia. Let it go. Stick to the idea. Stick to it. Okay. So the next thing Ryder Carroll did was he kind of went in here and he marked off the weekends. Okay, after that, now we can go ahead and write down what we want to track on this monthly. So since this is my like food and health journal, I want to go ahead and keep A. I'll just go ahead and I'll write key down here. So A for arms, P for planks, and H for hills. I don't know if you can see, so I'll pull it up a little bit closer, but you can see here where it didn't dry fast enough and I kind of smudged it and it got pulled down here. My bad. So, you know, again, something you have to think about when you're using gel pens. All right, so we're going to bring these up to the top over here. And then the next step will be to go ahead and mark off the end of the week. So Ryder Carroll talks about how certain things you can go ahead and plan out in advance. And I've done this before and other people have also. And I usually refer to it as the Ellister method because he sort of created something similar to this. Of course, his was meant for like a way to plan things ahead. So for arms, this should be done every single day. So you can go ahead and place a dot in here the rest of the month. So this just indicates that for this specific habit, it should be done every single day. And do the same for planks. And then heels, I'm going to go ahead and do today, but I don't know that it's going to be an everyday thing. Okay, so we have some pointillism going on here, which is awesome. I also will schedule this for the weekends. We'll see if I can stick to that because the weather, you know, my hill is what I refer to as hills, kind of like in football. The football team used to have to do hills, but it was like literally up a gigantic hill you'd have to run up and down. And that's where I got the idea to do it on my hill. But since we are still in winter here in Colorado, all the snow is pretty much melted. It's kind of dry, but it's still been sort of rainy. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, so this is what my monthly looks like. Now, Ryder Carroll has mentioned that a lot of the times when we go ahead and we pre-plan things, so like this is my food health journal. If I went ahead and I pre-planned what days I was going to do cardio, that's sort of like what I hope happens. And he stated in his video that he feels like a lot of times our planners reflect what we hoped would happen. And I've mentioned that before. Like if I write something here, it's probably what I hope will happen. And over here off to the side is probably what I will write actually did happen. So I don't know that I need to make a line for that. Do you think I need to make a line for that? Here's the thing, I counted and there are 37 down and 27 across. And this box right here, this empty box, rather, scoot over, it's right here, takes up exactly half, which is 13. So if I write down, like, let's say for today I wanted to do cardio, right? And I wrote down what I was going to do for my cardio here. I want to stop at this line. So over here, if that doesn't happen, I can write what actually did happen. I hope that makes sense. And if that happens, I'm going to try really hard to remember. Maybe to write it in a different color pen, like a blue or a red. If I don't, and you see something here and then over here, I probably will remind you later that I had planned on going swimming with like my niece, because we do that occasionally in the morning, my older niece, before she goes to work. And then if we have to reschedule due to weather or something happens, then I'll just write, you know, canceled or something over here. You can certainly mark it out, but you know, you do you. Down here, what I might end up putting is like the weight that I hope to achieve at the end of March, because again, remember I have these blank pages to fill out for March and then work out how many pounds I want to lose per week. I did have a video I will put down below that shows you how to do all of that stuff, including your BMI and all that jazz. So I can put that here, and then I can put my end weight here, and then I can put whatever plus or minus. So let's say that I'm in the plus, I'm in the green. I ended up losing 2 more pounds than I thought I would that month. I can put that here. If I didn't lose all of the weight, but I did lose weight, I can put like the negative here so that I can recalculate for the next month, if that makes sense. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And again, up here, I have 4 boxes to go ahead and write any kind of big goals that I want to do. Like for instance, maybe because I haven't been to the gym in a while, that's a goal that I can put here, or go swimming once this month. I have 15 days to get that achieved if that's what I want to do. And then 2 other things. And because this is a short month, since I'm starting on the 15th, I have all this space here to take any notes that I need. Now certainly I can go ahead and leave this space open here for any other chores or anything I wanted to do, kind of like a brain dump for the month of March. If I decided that I didn't want to just keep my food journal in here, I could also write down like any kind of meal plans for March over here. Like for instance, if you know that something is in season, or that you've seen something on sale, like sometimes chicken goes on sale, pork will go on sale here, like ribs and stuff a lot. That's something you can also do depending on, you know, your diet. I usually try to stick with just counting carbs and making sure I only eat a certain amount of carbs a day to keep my insulin low. But if you're doing keto or something like that, you can certainly put some rules there for that in case you decide to dedicate 1 month just to some specific diet that you wanted to try out. I will do another video if I decide to do like a weekly setup, because the monthly is not enough, especially if I decide to add more things in here besides my food journal, because I always like to combine things. I don't know why. I can't let it go, but it happens sometimes. But yeah, if I decide to set up a weekly, I will do another video for that, and I will definitely do another video to show you how my day went, or how I'm going to start my day. Because of the back issues, I just can't sit for long periods, so that'll have to be another video. Alright, so don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!